Pozole is a traditional soup celebrated in Mexico. It's commonly made with pork. Well, I wanted to speed up my version using chicken and red chilies for a spicier version. Today on this episode of Cook This, I'm making Rojo Pozole. Hey guys, I'm Shereen with Cook This. So first, to get started on our pozole, we are dicing some onion and prepping our garlic. So this is a celebratory dish in Mexican culture for New Year's Day. Weddings, graduations, this is the time that they make this soup and celebrate. So it's very special. And we get to celebrate it this year on New Year's Day. You will love this soup. So let me get my onions prepped, ready to go into the pot and start sauteing. So we're gonna season our onions with just a little bit of salt and pepper. Remember my motto, season every step of the way. That way we have full flavor at the end. So just a little bit. So once these onions are nice and tender, about a couple minutes, we're gonna add the garlic and then saute the garlic. When we smell that it's fragrant, then we'll add our tomato paste. Garlic smells so good. So now we're just gonna add the tomato paste. A little bit will do it. So you wanna always saute your tomato paste when you add it. It brings out the natural sugars in the paste and really just sort of concentrates it. So once it turns that rusty orange color, that's where you wanna be. Now we're just gonna add some chicken broth. So I have a low sodium chicken broth. We want to add about 2 cups. We're going to bring it to a slight boil and heat it through and then work on our peppers. So what makes this soup rojo meaning red in Spanish, are the chilies. So these are red chilies. We have ancho and guajillos. So the anchos are basically poblanos, and then when they're dried, they take on a really just sort of smoky, robust flavor, and they become anchos, and then our guajillos. But here's what I've noticed. You want to really clean them thoroughly. They can be dirty and sandy. So I'm gonna stem them and halve them. You wanna remove all the seeds and any of the pith. If you see any visual of the pith, you wanna pull that out because it can be bitter, and rinse them really well. We don't want any sand in our soup. So now we have our chilies thoroughly cleaned. You just want to place them in the boiling broth, cut the heat, make sure that they're fully submerged. Take a plate smaller than the opening of your pot. I have a salad plate, and then just place it right on top of the pepper. So the key here is we want to make sure they're fully submerged. We have no heat right now, and we're going to let them sit for about 30 minutes. We want them to be really tender and nice and soft. So it's been about 30 minutes, so you just want to add your chili mixture into a blender, all of the liquid, and we're going to puree it until it's perfectly smooth. So our chili puree is ready to go. So now I just wiped and cleaned out our pot. We're going to add a little bit more oil and cook our chicken. So I have actually bone-in split chicken breast. The skin was on, I removed the skin. That way we don't have an oil slick going on in our broth. We want that broth to be nice and clean. All right, our chicken looks beautiful. So you just want that light golden, very light golden crust. So turn it back upside down because we want it to fully submerge in our chicken broth. So now we're just gonna add the remainder of our broth. So here we're creating a stock. We have bone-in chicken. We're gonna let it cook and infuse so much more flavor. Add some dried oregano. You could use Mexican oregano. And then our chili puree. So we're gonna bring this to a boil and then reduce it to a simmer and add a cover to it. So we want to cook that chicken, we want it really tender and juicy, falling off the bone, for about 25 to 30 minutes. Chicken looks great. I'm just going to take it out, remove the bones, and then just shred it and return it back into the soup. So typically, pozole is made with pork, which is a low and slow process that takes all day long. Think how long it takes for a pork butt to cook, right? But this just speeds it up and gives it a little different twist by using chicken. So instead of taking 4 hours to cook, it took us 25-30 minutes to cook. So now I'm just going to turn it on low and add the hominy. So the hominy is corn and it makes for a traditional pozole. I think what I love about pozole so much is all the garnishes. I love Mexican cuisine. It's actually my favorite, #1 top favorite cuisine. So we have avocado. I have some shredded cabbage that I cut up earlier, radishes, some lime I'm gonna cut into wedges, and of course, cilantro. So I'm just gonna prep and dice everything. This is our garnish on top of our soup. So we have great texture, great flavor, and lots of color. So now I'm just prepping the radishes. My son, who, I cannot name him, but you know who he is. He loves radishes. Come on, a 15-year-old boy, he loves radishes. Kind of a cool thing. So I will chop up some extra for him, put him in a little bowl. He eats them like a snack. Last but not least, to prep the garnish is cilantro. I love it. Oh, I know some of you don't. You're snarling at me. Come on, you just have to try it. It makes this pozole, it makes Mexican. Any cuisine. All right. Just chop it up. Soup's ready. Now you have all these beautiful garnishes. So what you can do, New Year's Day, set everything up, let everybody help themselves. You can even add a little bit more spice with some hot sauce. It looks beautiful. Look at all the colors. So beautiful. Now let's get some soup. This is like a little party in a bowl. Look at that. My cilantro. Oh gosh, look how beautiful. What a way to celebrate and ring in the new year. For this recipe, go to the newspaper's website and visit me on Facebook and Twitter for more culinary tips. I'm Shereen with Cook This. Happy New Year. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next year.